Hey everyone, I'm Chef Dennis, and welcome to Around the Kitchen Table with my co-host Susan Serra. How you doing, Susan?
Hi, I'm doing great, Chef. It's a little bit of a cloudy day, but I mean, how many of us are thinking about those poor people in Texas? It just comes right to mind, huh?
Yeah, it's insane when it rains like that. You just don't know what's going on.
Yeah, just such a disaster, and it's going to go on another week. So you are, whoever's out there, you are in, I would speak for both of us in our thoughts for sure.
Yeah, Coach Moore's actually in San Antonio, so I don't know how bad they're getting hit, but he's in the audience today, along with Kim Boltman and Ron Snaberger's here, and Dave Pipe is here. So hi to everyone. And
Yeah, you're all in our thoughts. So how are you doing? How was your long weekend? You went away again, didn't you?
no, we're going away actually tomorrow. Tonight I have an event at a place on the other side of Orlando in Sanford, Florida, at a pizza. It's a wine tasting at a pizza and pasta restaurant. So that'll be fun. And they actually have gluten-free products because the chef there went gluten-free. He actually lost 55 pounds.
Wow.
So we're commiserating over, he goes, I'm always hungry. And I said, oh my God, thank you for saying that. I'm always hungry too.
I know. You know what? I lost a whole bunch of weight and then I gained some back, but nowhere near what I lost. I found that's the most difficult thing because when you're hungry, what happens? You get cranky.
Yeah.
And it's like sometimes it's hour by hour or half hour by half hour, isn't it?
Well, I've been drinking an awful lot more coffee. It's weird. I don't know. It's just because all of a sudden I'm acting my age because after a meal I want a cup of coffee, and it was always a joke with my mom or with my mother-in-law. They wanted coffee after the meal. I'm going, really? You just ate a great meal. Why do you want coffee now? Well, now I want coffee after every meal.
Yeah, yeah. No, I know. I mean, if it fills you up even a little bit, or, well, is that it for you? Why you want coffee? Why do you want coffee after every meal?
I don't know. I really don't know, but I just have that urge now to drink a hot beverage, and coffee's pretty much it. So I'm drinking more coffee, and in the afternoon when I start to get those twinges of hunger, because with me it's not like I'm getting cranky so much as I feel unproductive. I feel like I'm just, all right, I don't have the pep to go write a post or to do something. I just don't have that
Yeah, well,
feeling.
I have to have my 4 o'clock cup of coffee just for that same reason. And I think I will bet a lot of females in the audience may relate to me that if we're hungry, we're just not happy. So we need, I don't know if you see that with Lisa or not, but I'm going to make a generalization. Whoever I speak with feels the same.
That goes the other way with me. And since I've lost the weight, I don't have the immediate need to eat. Although if I start to go too long, it gets to that point. But before, she always knew if I said I got to stop at Wawa and get a bag of pretzels, she didn't argue because she knew it was either that or face the wrath of me being a real bear. But she doesn't go that way. She can. Are you going to eat? No, it's too late. What do you mean it's too late? You didn't have dinner. Oh no, I'll be all right. I'll have a piece of cheese, and it's like, oh my God, she cannot. No, she can go all day, and I would yell at her. In fact, I get up a lot of mornings just to make sure she's got lunch packed to go to school, or I do it the night before.
Aren't you great?
She won't do it, and then she won't eat. I'll go, did you eat? No. I said, you haven't eaten. What'd you have for breakfast? A yogurt. I'm like, oh my God, that's not enough.
No.
So
you have to keep the fuel going.
Yeah. So when I cook at night, I always try to cook enough if it's possible for her to take the next day when she's got school, or I'll make her a sandwich, or today I made her chicken salad and she'll take crackers with it. Pack her some fruit. It's like, I feel like I'm sending the kid off to school.
Isn't she lucky? Isn't she?
Yeah.
We could do a whole show on this, and I would love to hear from others. Maybe tips, others in the audience, tips on how to curb hunger. I mean, we could all benefit from that. That's for sure.
We got a couple other people saying hello. Kim Boltman is here, and talk about being hungry is making her hungry. Time for a coffee refill. Scott Krofoff is here from the cloudy Pacific Northwest. Dave Pipe is saying he gets crankier when I'm hungry. I'm with you, Dave. I do get cranky. Christopher Howes just showed up. How you doing? Dave Williams is here eating shrimp for lunch, but I need a dip. Help.
Ah.
Yeah, so we got a lot of people in the audience. I got to remember how to turn this off now. Here we go. Okay. We're good to go.
Yeah, so dips are great. I mean, this is also a season for, you know, casual get-togethers in the summer, and you know, having a good repertoire of dips is a good thing.
And this is a really easy, basic dip. I mean, it's not rocket science. It's blending in the ingredients to make the mixture, and then this has got shrimp in it, and it's shrimp scampi. But you know, it could be lobster, it could be crab meat, it could be an artichoke dip, it could be a vegetable dip. You know, you can pretty much take this any way you want, or it could just be a cheese dip, or you could throw some black beans in it, or you know, again, it's that versatile. It's really simple once you get the basic understanding of how to make a hot dip, and then you know, you can set them up. You can make a base and then take them in different directions. You could double or triple it and have 2 or 3 different kinds of dips for your guests, and just adding in, you know, the main ingredient, you know, as you're setting it up, and they can get set up, wrapped up, put in the refrigerator the day before, and when you come home or when you're ready for your party, you can pop them in the oven, and you know, it's really easy to do. Get some fresh bread, you know, either toast them as croutons or put them out like that, or put it out with crackers or vegetables, and eat at a party. And it's really amazing.
Maybe you can even get away with not having to make dinner if you have some hot dips. Now, tell me something. The hot dip you're going to make, you know, you mentioned hot dips. Are they conducive to eating at room temperature?
Sure. It's just with anything like this, especially if it's got dairy or proteins in it, you just want to be careful about, if it doesn't get eaten up, you want to probably not save it. So that's the only thing with letting something go to room temperature. It's perfectly safe as it cools. You've got a 2 to 4 hour window that you really can be safe in. So if you put it out at 7 and 10 o'clock and it's still out and there's a little left, it's fine. And in room temperature is fine. It doesn't have to be hot to be eaten. In fact, you want to let it cool a little, because anything, if it's too hot, it's going to burn your mouth. It's going to ruin your taste buds, especially if it's got cheese in it. So, you know, a little bit cooler is fine up to room temperature. But then just, you know, being careful and being safe with it, because you don't want to get yourself or your family sick by saying, oh, I hate to throw it out. You know, if there's some left, sit down and eat it, finish it. That's all.
It's true. Yeah, good advice, especially for the summer when it's, you know, it's already warm and sticky out, and we could also do a whole show on that, on food safety. So that's an excellent point you bring up.
You know, another idea to do is, if you don't think you have enough people, use a smaller container and bake and have 2. When one is almost gone, throw the other one in the oven. It's only going to take about 15-20 minutes in the oven. So, you know, have a backup, keep it in the refrigerator, and then cook them in shifts. So, you know, if your guests decide not to eat it, you can have it the next day. So, you know, or in a few days.
Good. That sounds good.
Okay, so let's get started, and we're going to start with our shrimp scampi dip. And let me turn this on. All right. We got that on now. We're going to get a pan, and of course, we're starting this with butter. You can use a butter substitute. I would be careful about using oil, because, you know, butter, the property of butter just seems a little more stable from something like this. You could test it with oils. You know, something like coconut oil would probably work well if you didn't want to use butter, because it'll solidify a little bit more as it cools off.
Hey, I have to interject. Have you seen the, I don't know how new it is. I was in the grocery store the other day. I saw Land O'Lakes olive oil and butter and sea salts combined in bars. I had not seen that before. What do you think about that?
They're mixing all kinds of things, and, you know, it's kind of like, if I'm going to mix it, I think I would rather mix it myself than let them do it. Yeah, they're trying to get off on the craze of olive oil being good for you, and of course sea salt. So I don't know.
Maybe a
I
little
think
too processed, kind of.
yeah, it's a marketing thing.
Yeah.
You can do it yourself. If you want to use olive oil, just use half butter, throw some olive oil in, and it's being sourced well. That's all. That would be my thought. I mean, I even saw, and what I was going to try, and I never did, was I saw a Greek yogurt cream cheese mixture that was like blended together, and I thought that might be something that's interesting. I just never got around to trying that with the diet and everything. So I've got garlic in there, I've got butter in there, and I've got shrimp in here. Now I'm going to let these shrimp cook a little bit, and then I'm going to take them out when they're almost done, and I'm going to let them cool, and I'm going to cut them up with a dip. You can leave them whole. If they're smaller shrimp, say if you got like 36 to 40s or something and you want them to be whole. But again, think about your guests. Think about your guests eating it. If they're going in with a piece of bread or they're going in with something to dip and they pull out a whole shrimp, are they going to be comfortable throwing that whole shrimp in their mouth? So, cutting them up does a couple things. It makes it easier for them to eat, and it also lets them go a little further.
Hey, Chef, are you familiar with those super tasty, I guess I would call them Northern European or Scandinavian teeny tiny shrimp?
No.
Oh, okay, because I'm wondering if that might be a good variation. They're teeny tiny and they're so flavorful. They come from the waters of Scandinavia, but I may have seen them in cans here, so maybe that's something I can find a link to.
The only teeny shrimp I've ever seen are those little salad shrimp, and they're usually pretty bad. So I would be very interested in finding.
No, these are different.
So I'm going to take the shrimp out, and I'm just scooping them out onto my cutting board here, where I'm going to let them cool a little bit, and then I'm going to cut them up. And we're going to come back here, and I'm going to turn my heat down just a little bit, and I'm going to add in some white wine, which is not something you have to use. If you want to use wine, you could use a little vegetable broth or chicken stock. And then I've got some lemon juice, fresh lemon juice.
Oh, nice.
So this is going in to be my base, and I'm going to let that get a little hot. And then I'm going to start adding in the different blends of cheeses that I have. And I've got some cream cheese here. That's good.
Applause.
I know. Cream cheese is a wonderful thing. Whoever invented cream cheese really needs a high five.
Yeah.
Even more than the cheese in the can, which has served its purpose for many people in their college days.
Oh, yes.
All right, so we got cream cheese. We're going in with some sour cream, and you could use Greek yogurt if you didn't want to use sour cream.
Okay, now does it matter if the sour cream and the cream cheese are light versus,
Nope, you can use light variations. The only thing you ever have to watch for in some of these new fat-free products is that they turn to water when you heat them. So, and that would be the case with yogurt, with Greek yogurt, is it's really going to start to water down. So you couldn't use just Greek yogurt and have it stay in solid form. I found that out myself when I was trying to make something. But oh no, this isn't going to work. But so we got mayonnaise, we have sour cream, we have cream cheese, we have grated Romano cheese, and then I have got, Cabot sent me this lovely horseradish cheddar.
Oh, perfect! I love it. A little bite to it. Love it.
So I was going to add some horseradish into it with the cheddar, and I went, wait a minute, I have that. Turn this down a little bit more. Now I'm going to grab a whip because I want this incorporated a little bit better than it is. And that cream cheese really is just still a little chunky. So we'll take a wire whip.
So is it something that is the consistency ultimately something you want sort of textured, or would you blend that at all, or does it matter?
It's going to go in the oven, so it really doesn't have to be super blended because it's going to melt as it's in there. It just, me being a little anal, I like not to see lumps, so I do that. So we're going to turn this down really low. I'm going to cut my shrimp up a little bit. And we've got that really nice garlicky flavor.
Yeah.
The creaminess of the cream cheese and the sour cream that are going to make it really tasty and palatable there and easy to eat. And now we're going to throw in the shrimp.
I'll be really curious what the end consistency is, how thick versus how, how thin it is. I mean, I would imagine it's not going to be thin. It's going to be kind of have some movement to it.
It's already thick and it's already hot. So you can see it's not going to thin out a whole lot because you've already got a nice thickness here.
Mm-hmm.
Taste it. Okay. So add a little bit of sea salt, a little bit of black pepper, and then we're going to put in some parsley because I want it to look pretty. And this is probably the most flavorful parsley I've bought in a long time. I couldn't believe it when I was cutting it. It actually smelled really nice.
Wow. So is it just regular Italian parsley?
Regular Italian parsley. I kept looking at it to make sure it wasn't cilantro, but it wasn't. Huh. It tastes this. It has almost a little lemon flavor to it. Okay, so that's it. That is our shrimp dip. You can see the nice pieces. Now, if you wanted this to have a little color, you could put in a little bit of paprika and have it be a little pink if you wanted it to look a little shrimpy. And in fact, let's do that. Let me grab my paprika. Now, if you wanted to have more seafood flavor, a little Old Bay.
Oh, good idea.
If that's the direction you wanted to take it in. But I want the horseradish to have a little bit more of the prominence in this. And in fact, you could add a little, if you wanted more horseradish, you could add a little bit of prepared horseradish to it. Even a little bit more. But think about your horseradish sauces when you make them. Sour cream, mayonnaise, and horseradish, great for roast beef or other sandwiches. That's nice.
You're right. I think that's a great base, and I'm plotting and planning now, and I'm wondering what about instead of shrimp is great, but what about say chopped clams? What do you think about that?
Well, I think I might go with the baby clams rather than chopped, and sometimes you can get them frozen too. All right, so here. But any kind of seafood, and a melange of seafood, if you wanted to add some different things in.
Yeah, or crab. You could do crab.
Crab would be absolutely wonderful.
Right?
Crab, lobster, and use the lobster meat. Don't use like tails. Use the claw meat or stone crab meat. Okay, so here's that. Now I'm going to top it with a little bit more of this horseradish cheddar. So when it gets bubbly and hot. And then the trick with cheese, like if you ever have chopped parsley, this is when you want to add just a little bit more to the cheese because as it melts, it'll melt into the cheese a little bit and it looks really pretty. And there
it does look good.
That is our shrimp scampi dip. It's got a nice garlicky flavor to it. It's got, and you could add more if you want, and you want to make sure you cook the garlic. And it's got that light horseradish flavor to it. So it's really a very nice complement of flavors. And we're actually going out to dinner tonight, like I said, so when Lisa gets home, this will be a little snack that we have, a little hors d'oeuvre before we go out to dinner. So
that is terrific. Can I see the consistency of that? Put a little spoon through that a little bit?
Absolutely. And again, it's going to go in the oven, so it is going to change a bit.
Okay, so will it get even thicker?
It's probably not going to get a lot thicker. The cheese is going to goo up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I can't see anything.
Oh, you can't see it?
No.
All right. Well, it's on my center screen. You have to come back. I think we had that problem last week that you couldn't see me, but.
Yeah, I can see you. I just can't. The spoon is out of the
I'm sorry.
shot. Yeah, I can see you. Oh, there we go. Now I can see the spoon. It's just in the corner of the shot. Okay. Yep. Yeah, now I can't see it. I saw it before when you moved your hand over. Yep. Okay. Yep. Good, good. Now, I wonder if you can put that in, those bread bowls, you take out the bread.
You can, except if it's going to bake, the problem again becomes you're letting moisture get soaked in. So the bread bowls are great for immediate service, or if you're going to put it out. So if you wanted to heat this up, cook it, and then put it in a little bread bowl, that would be nice.
Yeah, that's what I mean, after.
After, yeah, I wouldn't bake it in it, though.
No.
Because then you have moisture getting sucked up into that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, that's it. And
wow.
That's easy. It's simple. And again, it's done. You could take this, you could cover it in plastic wrap, put it in your refrigerator, and later tonight, which is exactly what I'm going to do, and I'll take some pictures when Lisa comes home, I'll pop it in the oven for about 15, 20 minutes. And, 350 degrees, get it nice and bubbly. And you can look at it. When the cheese starts to get golden brown and it's bubbling a little bit, just pull it out and serve it with some sliced toast, some bread slices, Italian bread, or even fresh bread or crackers or celery or anything you want to dip in there, and it's going to be wonderful.
I think that's great. There's something festive. There's something a little bit more elegant about, a hot dip.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't it? And if you put, now, what if you put that, I mean, it's, simple cream cheese and, sour cream, but put that in, say, a gold leaf or some kind of beautiful container, and it's, a whole different presentation.
Oh, absolutely.
Or a beautiful piece of china.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I just stay with simplicity. Like, this is how I would serve it in a restaurant. And, it's funny, when you send me out to buy dishes or stuff, I don't look at really show pieces like, you would as a decorator would. I look for, oh, yeah, that's a good size little crock there that'll bake up real nice, or that's a nice ramekin, or, that's what I look
that's
at.
Right.
What I use in the back of the house. So when you went to a restaurant, this is, pretty much how it would be served to you, right? So, and that's how it goes. I actually have those in 3 different colors.
Wow. Yeah, those things are so useful. They're so useful. I mean, I have some, and I use it for everything. It really looks simple. It's simple. It's, 1, 2, 3, you have a, I know what I was going to mention. What about, like, if you do a vegetable version, say, of course, artichokes come to mind, the classic artichoke dip. Yep. What else would you pair with artichokes? How would you make a veggie version?
Well, if I was going to do a veggie version with this, I would probably have some, like, broccoli would be real nice in this. A broccoli dip would be wonderful. Cauliflower. I might roast the vegetables first, okay? Instead of sautéing them in the garlic, I might roast them and then put them in roasted just as I'm folding it in at the end. This is what I'm saying. It can be, you can make this base without the seafood and then take it and add in whatever the flavors you want.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, if you were only having if you wanted this is for 4 people and you wanted to make them 2 different ones, just use smaller containers, split it in half, and then add some roasted cauliflower or add some broccoli to it or some spinach, or spinach and garlic would be wonderful if you want to make it festive. But only remember, chop your spinach or use baby leaves, because nothing's worse than getting a nice long piece of spinach.
Oh, you're right. You're absolutely right. You're right.
And roasted peppers. Roasted peppers would be wonderful in it.
And you know what? You could do 2 types, and on one of the types, like you said, you put in the paprika and make it a different color, and then it'll look like a totally different dip.
Yeah, and you can make
Good
it
trick.
right. I really didn't put much paprika in. I just wanted to, you can get it pinker and then just add it in until it's the right shade that you like. It's really wonderful. And like I said, you can add anything into it to make it your own. You can put different cheeses in. If you say I don't like horseradish. I don't know who doesn't, but say you don't like that. Just use regular cheddar or use Swiss, use Gruyere. Use something that you like the flavor of. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, looks great, Chef, and easy. And I'm gonna mark that down for the event I'm doing in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and watch people hot dips are magical because no one ever does them at home.
You're right, and it's so easy.
Good.
Yep.
Easy to do. So try it at home, impress everyone, and enjoy it. Next time you got a game or something you want to watch, you put this in front of a bunch of guys, you better make it about 4 times that size if you're going to have them eating this while they're watching the game.
That's right.
They'll go through it like who was it? Sherman marching on Richmond.
I know. Well, I mean, can you even serve it with crudités around, and then people think they're being healthy, or they think, oh well, I'm being, you know.
Well, you know, again, moderation. The key to losing weight was understanding moderation, and I could sit down with a spoon and probably just eat this the way it is. But now my mind starts to think, well, 2 spoonfuls is plenty. That was really good. I've satisfied the urge. So, you know, if you want to put, you know, dipping a cherry tomato in this would be awesome. You know, run in some broccoli. Just watch that they're not double dipping, and give them things that are small enough for a single dip. That's all.
Yep, all looks good. And we have a couple of comments from Peter Feltham. A little wasabi could be interesting.
Oh, yeah. Wasabi's always nice. There's Coach Mark just saying roasted peppers. Dave Pipe is mentioning he used to grow horseradish at his parents' house. Wow, that's pretty cool. Cheryl Berlin is here. Thanks, Cheryl. I appreciate that. What else do we have? Allie Phillips, pretty eating is the bomb. Yes, it is, Allie. And on your table, I can only imagine how beautiful it would be. Dressing up a dip in a pretty dish is so Susan Serra. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
But great, yeah. So we have a lot of nice comments on this.
I mean, you can even put some shrimps around it.
Oh, yeah.
If you want, and, you know, the nice display.
Yeah, where your budget is. You know, this was about, what did I use, about a half a pound of shrimp. Yeah, about 7, 8 ounces of shrimp. And, you know, it can be less, it can be more. So shrimp, you can get shrimp for $12 a pound. So for $6, you know, the cheeses are going to be a little more expensive. And actually, even buying the small containers, I used a half a block of cream cheese. I used a third of a little sour cream. So if you made 2 and left one for later in the week, you know, or just had the ingredients you wanted to throw together later in the week, it, you know, would be a good thing. Easy on the budget too.
Well, good dish. Now, you know, the time has gone so fast. Should we go into our other topic, or should we save it? Where do you want to go?
We can save it for later. We got kind of carried away with this very easy dish, but we're talking about my kitchen still, and I have everything printed out now, and we've been looking at them. We could talk about it a little bit. That's no harm.
Yeah, I'd love to. I'm dying to know. So what happened?
You had some really good ideas with this, but I think the best one that you came up with that I like is enlarging the island and taking out the middle thing. So it's
good. Oh, that makes me happy. And this is the first time I'm hearing this, because we haven't talked in the Memorial Day weekend, so this is the first time here. Oh, I am thrilled. I'm thrilled. I think you're good. And you both agree?
Yes. She loves the idea. In fact, when I said it, she goes, oh, good. I'm glad you're thinking about doing that. I think by making the island bigger, too, I had a question. Will we be able to have some cabinets under the island that are functional?
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah.
Whether they're on the ends. I know on one of them,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I know on one of them you had like a storage area on the end of it. But I'm just thinking about, since we're going to be losing some of this underneath cabinet space, that if we had a little bit on one of the ends where I could put some pots or put something else, that would help.
Oh no, those forms all assumed there would be storage underneath, except for the back overhang. Now, are you interested in the plan that has the separate connected island? That's a little separate shape that could be a prep area?
I think I want to keep it one big island.
Okay.
We're going to talk about that a little bit more, because she wasn't sure what I meant, and I just printed them out today so she could have them. Because looking at them on the computer is not as easy for her to digest. This way she can have them in her hands and look and make some add or subtract things to it. But you know, I like the idea of how it's definitely a smaller sink than the one I have, because this is just out. You know, it's just huge with this double useless sink. Neither one big enough to do anything.
Yes. A double sink is useless. Yep.
But that'll give us some more. But you know, I love having this be the center piece of the house, the melting, the meeting.
Yeah, yeah, the gathering spot, sure.
Yeah, and if we didn't have that side there, it could be bigger without hurting anything.
No, that's right. I think that's what you should do too. That would be my favorite. I don't always get my favorite, and that's why I do different plans for people so they can choose. But I'm always secretly hoping, oh, I hope they pick this one. Oh, I hope they pick that one.
Now, I love the pantry that you have too, but I don't think we're going to put it on the wall. But that being said, I do have an area adjacent to the refrigerator right next to the bathroom, and there is this ugly as sin small cabinet there. So I think that would be the place, since we're doing cabinets, to put in a nicer piece there that would be a little more functional, because it's not quite as big as it could be. There's a little bit more room there for a little more width, or to put a regular size cabinet in.
Absolutely. Just turn around the corner and you have more storage. I'm doing that in my own kitchen. I have 2 other areas outside the kitchen where I'll have storage, and wherever you can find it and you have access to it, that's great. So good news.
And actually, you know, what I'm going to do too is I'm going to save this upper and lower if they come off the wall okay next to here, and my laundry room has an indent in it, and they'll go right in there, and I can have a little countertop in there, so my gelato maker can be there with a plug, that I don't have to pick it up and carry it into here when I want to use it. So.
Yeah. And how often do you use that? That's the question.
Not often, but you know, if it wasn't such a pain to use, I might use it a little more often.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, you may not want it on your countertop, but you may want some sort of accessibility to it so you can get excited to use it. I think that's terrific. So just let me know which one and any modifications, and then next time I'll start on the elevations.
Sounds good. Yeah, I think the one you have that is all open, that has the pantry on the wall and the single island. Although, you know, that I don't know if that island could be even just a little bigger or not. That's the only thing I want to look at, is maybe have it be a little bit longer. You know, so.
Yeah, we'll take a look. Yeah.
Well, that's about it then. So we did get to talk about it, and I'm happy.
Good. I'm thrilled. I got what I want. I got the plan that I want. Yay. Good.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us around the kitchen table and for sharing our hot shrimp scampi dip and talk about my kitchen. And we'll see you next week.
Yep. Bye-bye.